Yes, sir. I am now recording.
Thank you, sir.
My other left. Magnificent. Uh-oh, my hair? Well, how are you, Carrie?
Thank you.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thanks.
Sort of, right?
With everything going on, kinda. I don't, I wasn't planning on counting days, but
One less thing that you need right now, right?
read the glasses.
Jerry, I don't believe that Grace is going to make it in time for the meeting. So if you want to move up to her seat so that you can see better, then please do. I'm sorry. I said Jerry, but I meant William.
Okay, that's what I thought. William, if you want to move up here, you can.
Okay, Nathan, I'm all set on my end, man. Whenever you're ready.
Laura's on the way to get the mics for Karen and Scott, and then we'll be ready to start.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, y'all are coming through. So Carrie, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. All ready? Okay. I bring the Historic Resource Commission meeting August 4th, 2020 to order today. If you'd all stand and pledge of allegiance, please. If we'd have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Before we get to the minutes, I would like to welcome Karen Chin as a new commission member. And I'd also like to welcome Carla Smith back on to the commission. We appreciate both of your support. I have the minutes of the March 3rd, 2020. Could I have a motion for that?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the minutes stand approved as written.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, measure passes. Okay, if there's anyone here from the public to provide testimony, evidence about a specific COA on tonight's agenda, please. I'm not quite sure, but we have to have you sign in and be given an opportunity so that you can be given an opportunity to speak. Only those who have signed up will be able to have permission to provide testimony before the commission.
Carrie, if the members of the public
Yeah,
are
I have something to say before we get to that. Also, the Historics Commission would like to thank all of you for attendance. The City of Graham cares what the residents think and feel. During the quasi-judicial portion of tonight's meeting, the only items open for sworn statements are those having to deal with the certificate of appropriateness, currently before the commission. At the end of the evening, public comments of 4 minutes in length may be addressed to the commission on any matter the public wishes to address. Anyone wishing to speak about items not in conjunction with the COA before the commission will be asked to hold their public comment until the additional items portion of the agenda. However, given the pending lawsuit against the City of Graham, we have been advised not to comment on matters regarding protests or the monument. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. If there's any members of the public that also wish to be sworn in, or any applicants who wish to speak on any items, please raise your hand now and you will be promoted. And Debbie Jolly, the secretary of the board, will swear us in.
I have one person so far that's raised their hand.
Okay.
And Jennifer Talley, I'm gonna allow her to speak now.
No, we will wait until we have the specific COA that she wants to talk about. The purpose of the Historic Resource Commission is to safeguard important elements of Graham's culture, history, and architectural history to preserve those districts and landmarks for the education, pleasure, and enrichment of residents and visitors. We will proceed to reviewing the certificate of appropriateness applications on the agenda tonight. The HRC is responsible for evaluating whether a COA request meets the criteria in the HRC design guidelines. It is important to note HRC decisions on COA are considered quasi-judicial and as such must follow specific procedural rules. In order to protect individuals' due process rights, the Commission agrees to be impartial decision makers, provide proper public notice, and consider only competent and material evidence based on facts, not conjure or hearsay testimony.
Chuck
Before we get to,
Chuck is the one that has his hand raised. It's just under my name.
before we get to the COA 205, the Brantley Building, I do have a clarification question for the staff. We have a COA 205, the Brantley Building, and we have a COA 209, 21 Southeast Court Square. Both of those are the same project. They are not written in the same way because they have different information. I need clarification on those two COAs.
Carrie, before I provide any information, would you mind if Debbie swears me in?
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. So I'm going to share a different screen that should be the agenda packet. Are you able to see the application 2005 now on your screen, Carrie?
Yes.
So if you see here, it says that it's constructing 1,300
Right.
square foot area,
Yes.
and that was COA 2005. If we go to 2009,
Right.
it's 2,140 square feet.
That's correct.
And I believe there was some information in the packet here that said, now this is the last page of your 69-page packet, but on July 20th, 2020, the applicant submitted a new COA application, which is before the HRC for consideration, but there were not additional details submitted with the COA. This property appears to be the same property listed in COA 2005. However, given that there were competing COAs for the same property, the planning department wanted to give the HRC the ability to review both documents and choose which aligned most closely with the historic guidelines.
Okay, I guess my question then is, we are removing one COA and keeping one COA, or are we combining the two? Is I guess the question that I have.
I'm not able to answer that, and
Okay.
before we
All right.
have any members of the public speak, we should also have them be sworn in.
Okay. We'll move forward then. So before us will be the COA 205 Brantley Building. We have Chuck Talley. I'm not for sure who is being sworn in to talk to us about that. Before we do any commission members have any conflict of interest to disclose?
Oh,
Has any of the commission members have any communication with the people that are bringing this before us? Okay, then tonight's meeting will follow Robert's Rules of Order. And all speakers should come to the podium. But since we don't have a podium, we will listen to you. We might not be able to see you, but we will hear you. I ask the staff to swear in anyone who is coming before us for COA 205.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
It's Jennifer Talley and Chuck Talley. Jeff, I just wanted to let you know that I had called Grace Baldwin to see if she would be attending tonight. She said she's been leaving messages for Nathan because she didn't know who the new planner was, and that she wanted to be able to call in. I gave her the number, but she needed Jeff to call her to get her on the meeting. And I've been trying to raise my hand the whole time prior to the meeting, but no one would answer. So she wants to attend the meeting, but and that was the only thing we discussed. I just called to see if she was going to be at the meeting. She said she didn't.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, if she's present at the meeting, by North Carolina state statute, it's a virtual meeting, and all parties withstanding have to agree in writing prior to the hearing of any of the certificate of appropriatenesses. So we can't have the meeting tonight if she attends virtually.
Okay, I mean, I'm just letting you know that she wants to be able to call in.
There was someone that called in just a few minutes ago. I saw a phone number, but they're not there now. So I don't know what the number was. All they have to do is dial that phone number that was on that link.
Yeah, I gave it to her. I'm just, relaying a message.
Thank you. So,
Carrie, I don't know that we can continue. If you'd give me a moment, let me ask for some advice from someone else.
okay.
What was the name of the person, Nathan? There's somebody else that has their hand raised.
So it's Grace Baldwin, and she appears to be in the as one of the attendees.
Yes, she is. Okay.
Sorry, we're reaching out to our attorneys.
Grace has come on.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can.
So that was Grace Baldwin's daughter, because Grace wasn't real sure how to use Zoom. Says she has her set up for Zoom and she has her set up on the phone. But she says that you have to unmute her in order for her to be able to speak or say anything.
I'm waiting on Nathan at this time.
Oh, okay. I wanted to let you know that she could do Zoom or that. She had called me earlier in the week, and so I was calling her back, and I was going to ask her if she was going to be at the meeting tonight, and she was calling about something totally different. But when I got her on the phone, she said she didn't even get the packet, or she said she had left a message and said she didn't even know about the meeting. So I was trying to get in touch with you because I didn't find out about that until literally 5:15 or something, and I was trying to get on there to tell you, but I couldn't. Nobody would answer my.
And we don't normally allow attendees to talk during the meetings. That's why I didn't bring you in.
No, I know. I was just trying to be helpful. It was just a weird coincidence that
Jennifer, it would work if it wasn't a quasi-judicial hearing, but because this one's quasi-judicial, the virtual meeting requirements require consent in writing from all parties withstanding prior to the hearing. So if one member is virtual, it's my understanding that it becomes a virtual meeting, which is why this is what the attorneys recommended that we do. But now that Grace is here and on virtually, it becomes a virtual meeting. And so we need consent in writing from all parties withstanding for each one of the COAs in order to hear them, which obviously we don't have.
well, what do you need from us to get handwritten approval?
So all parties withstanding would be anyone who has the right to speak about one of the COAs. So certainly that would include I think there were 100 mailings that went out, and might include the tenants of those buildings. I'm not prepared to make that ruling. That's something that we need to consult with the attorneys about. If it's not a virtual meeting, then they have the opportunity to participate in the meeting, and we can just continue. But we can't continue if we don't have if we have a virtual meeting because we can't hear the items.
Okay. So is there a reason that we can't be in front of the board in person?
The reason that we're not having people in the building is because there are COVID positive cases that have occurred at City Hall. We're minimizing exposure as much as possible. Members of the public that were coming into meetings would be a very high likelihood of spreading it. That was why the members are socially distanced as they are and everyone else is virtual.
Okay, I think we're the only people on the agenda tonight. I don't think, I don't know, I can't speak for Grace, I was just relaying a message, so you'll have to talk to her about what she wants to do, but we're happy to move forward with the board member. What board members are present, because we can't see them on the Zoom meeting. We're blacked out from seeing that.
So the issue comes up is now that it's a virtual meeting, I believe it requires written consent from all parties withstanding. And so, for example, the notice for the Farm Services Building went to Graham Tractor, but Graham Tractor hasn't consented in writing to have the meeting as a virtual meeting. And that's true for each one of these where for the Brantley Building, you would have to consent in writing ahead of time, which we could deal with, but then the county has to consent in writing because the county owns fee simple property within 100 feet of the Brantley Building. And so I don't believe we can get that. And so I'm not sure that we're able to hear these COAs under the North Carolina state statutes for quasi-judicial virtual meetings.
So what is, I'm confused as to what you're saying. I don't need Grace Baldwin. I'm just asking you to explain to me why is she not allowed to call in and actually listen to the meeting?
I'm being asked to provide legal advice here and a legal interpretation, and I reiterate, we are waiting on an interpretation from the city's attorney.
So what board members do we have, Nathan? Do we have enough for a quorum?
The full board is present, all 7 members. One of them is present virtually.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
No.
Because they're all COA, so we're in our quasi-judicial mode.
Adjourn?
Work our way back up.
Exactly. The grandson born. I'll be shameless. Great, yeah. First. Have another house under contract today. Your neighborhood now. I think those are all gone now. They're all sold, yeah. They don't last long. I put this one on Friday night. With 5 offers. Great time to sell. Yeah, that's the problem.
Carrie, do you want to call an adjournment for 10 minutes so that Frankie can call our attorney?
Okay. We will adjourn for 10 minutes and while staff does some things. So meeting adjourned for 10 minutes.
So we've already been sitting here.
Hey, Jeff, the HRC had a question. If you could jump on and listen to them for just a second.
Okay, they've been unmuted.
Jeff, this is Carrie. William has hearing aids, so he's having a hard time to hear, but he can do it through his phone and his hearing aid, but I wasn't for sure if that would mess up the whole, like, get a feedback or something. So I thought we need to ask you.
It would be cause feedback.
Okay.
We have some devices for hearing aids, but we didn't know, so we didn't get one set up. If you can let me know in the future, we can have one of those available.
So we will need one for each meeting from now on.
Okay.
So for all of our meetings, we will need one, please.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jeff, I'll make a note of that as well in my HRC notes, so that way I can shoot a reminder to you before a meeting about a week or so.
Yeah, no problem. Remind me before the next meeting, because we need to get them out and test them.
So did you
etc.
get that, William? You can't use your phone. Okay,
Roger that.
okay. So you can't use your phone, but they have a device next time they'll bring. I have a device on my phone that connects to my hearing. Right. But if you use
I
your
think we
phone.
could go ahead and probably mute them back off. I think that they just had the one question.
I'm gonna go down here and check. Okay.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Jeff, are we allowed to share something on our screen if we get into the meeting? Is there a way to be able to do that?
There is.
What is it? Interface.
Social.
With two S's or one?
Two.
You can date shows stuff.
And
An email? Email? I didn't think of that.
Well, I can tell you at 7 o'clock, I'm out of here. I'm not sitting around here any longer.
You know, that's what I was
I'm out of here at 7.
Jeff, would you mind unmuting the commission? I'm going to read a particular, hold on one
Yes, sir.
second. Sorry, Bob is calling me back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I just got off the phone with Bob Ward, the city attorney, and with the new Senate Bill 704, State Statute 166A-19.24, remote meetings during certain declarations of emergency, subsection F, quasi-judicial hearings, states, a public body may conduct a quasi-judicial proceeding as a remote meeting only when all of the following apply. One, the right of an individual to a hearing and decision occurred during the emergency. Two, all persons subject to the quasi-judicial proceeding who have standing to participate in the quasi-judicial hearing have been given notice of the quasi-judicial hearing and consent to the remote meeting. And three, all due process rights of the parties affected are protected. As in this circumstance, the members who have standing for each one of these COAs have not consented to a remote meeting. It's the city's attorney's recommendation that we cancel the meeting and we provide subsequent notice and have the meeting at a subsequent time.
Well, we don't want to postpone the meeting. We would like to be able to move forward. Can you just ask Grace Baldwin to excuse herself from the meeting then if she can't participate remotely? We've already waited since March.
So is it back to me? Because I'm a little confused where we are. Staff.
Carrie, the city attorney has recommended that we not hear any quasi-judicial items.
Okay. So I don't know how. So do I just make a motion that we adjourn this meeting until until we have another meeting set with the staff. So this
Chairworthy.
meeting, I'm sorry.
It may be a good idea to make the statement that for quasi-judicial meetings, members must attend in person in the future.
But Nathan, didn't the request say that if for quasi judicial, can you not just ask Grace Baldwin not to participate? And we move forward?
I don't think that we can do that, Jennifer. So I'm going to say that the quasi-judicial meeting has been adjourned. We will take up all the COAs that we had on our agenda at another meeting that will be set by the staff.
We would request a meeting immediately.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at this time.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the meeting's been adjourned.